All right, what is poppin' Zygarde sales? It is your boy J Specs. It is like 10 o'clock. I just woke up and yeah, I'm sweating, but I'm not alone. Say hello to the one and only Anti-Adam.
Hey guys, it's your friend Choice CJ here. They call us Noctowl around here in these parts. We take naps and wake up at 10 p.m. and record videos.
Nice and Anti-Adam people. Adam has nightmares about CJ.
Well, we'll talk about what that really means another time.
All right, people. You know what time it is. It's time for prediction panel week 2, and we have another nice selection of matches lined up. But just before we go over everything, let's take a look at last week's results, people. We have the Verd going 7-0, and I kind of want to swap my points with his because he's a jabroni. We have me and D-Pad tied for 5-2. Kohona Gohan because he's a Dragon Ball Z character. And the Mudkip tied for 6-1, and Tyler the Phantom Pony behind with 4-3.
Yep, that pretty much does it. And it's not reflected on the slide here, but everybody did get their lock of the week correct last week, so that's not even bad.
All right, so let's get right into the shenanigans, shall we? The first match, we have Kyle, coach of the Mesquite Mespirits, against the Boston Keldios. Now, people, with this match, I went ahead and I chose Kyle. Kyle had a very good match against Jack last week. It was a very exciting match, being actually a double down. It was a 0-0 win, but the tie went to the runner, being Jack, because of the way that the match ended. I think Life Orb Recoil or Rocky Helmet or something like that.
Yeah, his Jack's Arcanine was Rocky Helmet and brought Kyle's M-Board down to 0 HP, and the mechanics of the game work out such that the Pokemon that took the Rocky Helmet recoil would die first. And like if it was like a Flare Blitz recoil or Life Orb recoil, then it would have been in Kyle's favor, but just because it was specifically Rocky Helmet, made for quite a dramatic ending.
Indeed. All right, so with that, people, it was a very well played match. I actually did a lot of team prep with Kyle to prepare him for that, because I'm pretty sure that was his first time he ever played Jack, and I pretty much built a team that I would think Jack would bring, and it ended up pretty much being the team that Jack brought against Kyle, except I brought SD Scizor, and I kept 6-0ing Kyle with SD Scizor. And it's funny, I brought Akko on Scizor, Jack brought Akko on Scizor. So it's like, just because Jack helps me prep whenever I'm stumped, when I'm in league matches and I want to go to somebody for prep because I like how Jack preps, I usually go towards him. So I guess I can say I'm kind of more keen to know how he would prep, like just on a regular basis, to the point where I literally brought the exact team he brought against Kyle. So I mean, I wouldn't say I'm in Jack's head, but I'm kind of in his head just because that's my friend. I use him a lot. But with that, people, I feel as if Kyle is going to be able to, continue his strong play from last week and take that into this week and grab a well-needed win to start off his season and even it out a little bit. How do you feel about this match, CJ?
I think it should be pretty exciting. The double dragons coming out from the Mesquite Mespirits can definitely be a threat. I think something like Assault Vest Metagross would be really good because it can maybe take a Fire Blast or from a Mega Altaria or a Earth Power from a Kieran Black and kill back with a Meteor Mash if needed. I look at Heliolisk against the Mespirits, and the Mespirits do not have an Electric Resist, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, obviously they have like Rotom Mow. I'm talking about like a immunity when I say Electric Resist. Yeah. Because sure, you can resist an electric attack, but you need to really be able to resist Volt Switch to prevent the momentum. And the Mespirits don't actually have anything like that. And there's potential on both sides. I don't know if I would favor one way or the other, but I'm just really looking forward to the Dragons going up against the Keldios, and then seeing how the Mespirits figure out how to deal with Victini, because Victini is a tough matchup no matter what. The Mespirits, they have an Emboar as their kind of bulky fire type that is usually used to wall Victini, but because of that fighting Typing on Embor, you just pack the Psychic Stab coverage on Victini, and then that thing is out of commission. So, yeah, Kyle does not have a great answer for Victini, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, Victini's one of those Pokemon that can always come in any situation as long as you set it up that way. Choice Scarf Victini is very dangerous, people. A lot of people don't like using it because of its damage output, but I've used it multiple times. No matter what the situation is, because of its ability to be so diverse with its move pool, if you can bring it in, you can get a kill, and then you just get it right back out of there.
Yep.
If you bring it in, force a switch, V-Create is going to do way too much damage to everything. Nothing wants to take a V-Create on the switch. And I mean, Victini is becoming one of my favorite Pokemon in this format. But I feel as if Kyle's good enough. He's played against me with Victini because he's helped me prep for people when I had Victini. And he knows how to play against Victini. Again, I'm not trying to, because I know Kyle and I don't really know the coach of the Keldeos that much, not trying to take that against him. I just feel as if because Kyle is very extensive in his prep. He's very good with his prep. And I feel like he's going to do what needs to be done to prep well enough to be able to take on this matchup.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, now the second match, we have the Hog Haluchas versus the Toronto Luxray. And for this one, again, I mean, I watched most of, if not all, of the week 1 matches. But it's pretty much me, just out there blindly. I don't know too much to expect. It's Turkey versus what's the Halucha's name? Let me check right there. Oh, against the good old Mintz, who CJ has told me himself is a very, very good battler, even though CJ was able to pick up the win against him last week.
Yeah, it was a pretty lucky 1-0, if you ask me.
Yeah, but as far, I'm just glancing over the team matchup again to see exactly why I picked what I picked.
Yeah, so just while you're looking that up, I'll tell you that the Luxrays do not have an answer for Mega Pinsir.
Oh, dear.
Their resist is Magneton and Registeel, which does not appreciate close combat or Earthquake.
Oh, my.
So, I guess you got Intimidate on Salamence and stuff like that, but
it's going
to be a tough match.
Golbat is a decent switch-in to Mega Pinsir.
Sure, but not a +2.
Yeah, true.
But then again, what in the game is a switch into a +2 Pinsir besides Zapdos?
But I mean, at that point, you can bring in that Choice Scarf Ditto to hit that quick attack and GG.
You got a point there, my friend.
So, I mean, looking at the matchup now, I really liked the Toronto team with the Mega Guard, the Weavile, the Infernape. Defensive Infernape is very underrated in this format. I think firefighting types in general, when run defensive with Will-O-Wisp and something like that, are a very underrated commodity in this format. I mean, I've seen defensive Infernape literally shut down a Weavile in PMC Season 1 when Cloud kind of ripped V a new one and dropped him on his neck. And I cried of laughter because V thought he did something so good, and I forgot what he went for, but then Cloud went for Will-O-Wisp, and it was just like, oh yeah, he had counter Weavile. It was Focus Sash counter, and he sends in his Infernape on his Weavile, and V's expecting him to go for close combat so he can live and take out the Infernape. Nope. Will-O-Wisp. And then down goes V's plans as he dies to the second hit. It's just Infernape, man, one of my favorite Pokemon in the format. It can do so much, even though I haven't got the opportunity to draft it. It's always been one of my favorite starters, and I feel like this can give him some momentum in the matchup.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Mega Guard is a pretty big problem for the Haluchas team because they don't have a tremendous amount of speed on their team, and their Fairy Resist is Fortress. Volcanion is also a Fairy Resist, but so he just doesn't have a lot of ways to take that thing on, unfortunately. So it could go either way because Mega Pinsir is still a huge threat.
Indeed, Mega Pinsir is amazing. You ready to go on to the second set of teams?
Yes.
I mean, the third set of teams. My lord, I can't.
I'm ready.
All right, so we have the Seattle Scizor versus the Chicago Flock. And with this one, I was the Lone Ranger picking the Chicago Flock.
Yeah, well, we all know how much you like Mega Absol, which is the member of the Chicago Flock.
I love Mega Absol, and looking at the Seattle Scizors, Mega Absol can actually do wonders to this team. I mean, Mega Absol is so hard to prep for. People think you only bring 4 moves on that thing and that's it. No, this thing has decent special attack. And by decent, I mean it's over base 100, so that's way better than decent. And its coverage is insane. It gets T-Bolt, it gets Ice Beam, it gets Flamethrower, it can do whatever you need it to do. It can pack whatever necessary coverage you need it to have to check its necessary threats. I just love Mega Absol, and the fact that it has Magic Bombs, you cannot safely go for Stealth Rock when that thing is Mega Evolved in the back. I just love the Mega Absol matchup here. It takes care of Deladios, Flamethrower takes care of Ferrothorn, Ice Beam takes care of Don Fan, whatever Dark Stab takes care of Jealous and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to really take a Banded Braybird from a Reckless Staraptor or Choice Scarf Staraptor or anything like that, but play Rough Murder Zoroark. I mean, like, this thing can do wonders. Sucker Punch will do a whole lot of damage to Mega Beedrill because of how frail it is. The only thing you'd really have to worry about as far as a Mega Absol check would be Gramble. And like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be a physical Mega Absol. He can run special and ruin someone's day. But yeah, the Chicago Flock. I really do like this team. It's the Roserade, it's the Blade, it's Mandibuzz. Yeah, I like the matchup in this matchup for the Chicago Flock, and I want it to be, one of the lone wolves and go ahead and try to choose them for this match. Hopefully they win.
Yeah, so, and, it's right up your alley, J-Specs, this sort of offensive team that Marcus has with his Chicago Flock. But I think with that in mind, like, because his team is so offensive, he just has so few defensive answers for anything, really. He did make some swaps. He dropped Honchkrow for Roserade, and he dropped Armaldo for Dusclops. So at least Roserade is kind of a fairy resist. But, so he's, like, trying to, like, make his team a little bit more well-balanced. But, you just look at Crawdaunt, Mandibuzz, Absol. They're all weak to fighting. They're all weak to fairy. Lucario, I think, with like an agility, can just rip through the Flock's team. There's just nothing that they can do. So it's really going to all depend on who's going to be making the aggressive moves, who's the one who's going to be applying pressure. If it's the Flock applying pressure, they've got some ridiculous weapons in their arsenal. But if they're on the back foot in this game, there's just not going to be any good path to victory for them. It's going to be squarely in the hands of the Sizzlers.
But yeah, are you ready to move on to the match number 4?
Let's do it.
All right, with the 4th match of the week, we have Spencer, coach of the Washington T-Flame, and we have a coach whose name I continue to forget, coach of the Texas Nightmare. And I'm pretty sure I know who the coach is. It's just I don't know who the coach is. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This one, I went ahead and voted for Spencer. I want to give my boy some slack, even though he loves Mega Scizor in this format, and I absolutely hate it. He has a very scary team in this league. It's very, very ridiculously bulky. And I do love my offense, as CJ just said, but there's certain times where a team's too bulky for just straight up offense to get over unless you choice ban and choice specs everything. So I mean, I like the matchup for Spencer in this one, and I feel like he has the necessary means to grab the W.
Yeah, there's good potential here. He suffered a lot from hazards last week, as he has no hazard remover on his team besides Yanmega.
I should have picked against you, Spencer. I'm sorry.
But on the bright side, the Nightmare only have Frostlass to set up spikes. So there's not a lot of potential for getting hazard stacked here. Just because Frostlass is not a great Bond against the Talonflames. I mean, Destiny Bond, a fast Destiny Bond is really good, but it just doesn't have any offensive capability against the Talonflames team. Like Magnezone, Melodic, Chandelure, Mega Aggron don't care what Frostlass has to do. Yeah, it's going to be tough. The Talonflames, for as much bulk as they have, they just lack in speed. But so if he can maneuver around a little bit better this week than last week, he couldn't maneuver around because of all the hazards that he experienced. He's going to be in a much better position to win this week. He just has to figure out a way to deal with the offensive threats that are Gengar, that are Hydreigon, and stuff like that. Alakazam, all of the big heavy hitters. And yeah, that would be his path to victory this week.
With that, let us go on to the next match where we have the Maryland Mienshao versus Shinryu Johan and the Shinryu Pikachus. Now, everybody picked Jack with good reason. I just don't like the makeup of Johan's team, and Jack was my lock of the week. So, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, so Jack is obviously an experienced UBC battler, whereas Johan is still getting his feet wet in this league. Still probably going to have to learn some of the rules of thumb of league battle, and might have to do it the hard way. You can't count out his team because he does have the very powerful duo of Talonflame and Charizard, and you look at his team, and yeah, he has like Seismitoad, which is kind of defensive, but what is his Togekiss isn't taking a Flare Blitz. What is his Flying Resist? Thunderous? Okay, that's not taking a Flare Blitz. I guess the best counter is Miltank to Fire-type moves, but again, that thing doesn't switch in on an Outrage. So there's a lot of offensive pressure that can be applied here. His best bet might be just to shuffle around, get some hazards up, and then come in and clean up with Zam at the end. If Jack can make that happen, that might work well, but just he doesn't have I don't want to say, oh, well, Jack doesn't have the defensive mons to deal with Talonflame and Charizard. Well, it's because there's only like 3 Pokemon that check both of them in the entire game. So, forgive him for not having one of those on his team in a 14-team league. But, that said, he's experienced. He'll probably find a way to make it work.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and this is very, very offensive of a team in terms of Jack. Jack never usually drafts this offensive, so it's going to be interesting to see how he uses it.
Definitely.
All right, and with that, we should move on to the next match. Excuse me, the next match we have the Bee's Knees versus the Broadway Blastoise, I believe.
That's right.
All right, yeah, look at this, people. I'm starting to know the names. And another straightforward match. Everybody chose Dem Knees because sometimes you just can't pick against Dem Knees.
Those knees are fancy.
And those are some fancy kneecaps, people. You choose the kneecaps. Never vote against the kneecaps. But, yeah, Adam is a very proven battler in this format. Let me just look at the Broadway Blastoise team. Though that team is pretty good. Very good indeed. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me see where the Kansas City kneecaps are. There are the kneecaps. Yeah, Adam just has a bulky squad that he's used to using, I mean, I'm kind of surprised he chose Mega Ampharos, because he usually wouldn't choose that as a Mega. But, I mean, I'm interested to see what he's able to do with it. And, I mean, he has the necessary offensive power he needs. He has Manaphy, he has Entei, he has Skarmory, which is literally an amazing counter to so many mons in this format. He has Tangrowth, which I love, and Cofagrigus. I mean, this team, like I said, it gives him the opportunity to do what he likes to do, which is play bulky offense. And, I mean, I feel like he has the necessary means to be able to take on the Broadway team.
Yeah, this match I think is going to be really exciting because they both have counters for each other's Pokemon. So like Manaphy could potentially do work, but you've got Pokemon like Tornadus T and Latios that could potentially take it on, or Venusaur. You can beat those Pokemon with certain coverage on Manaphy, of course, but you can't pack coverage for everything. But you do have then, Skarmory, which takes on Venusaur and Latios very well. But then the Blastoise have Rotom and Darmanitan to take on the Skarmory. And then, so it's kind of like there's a lot of opportunity for checking the threats on the opponent's team. So it's really going to come down to who preserves the checks the best. And it's those sorts of matches are always very interesting to me because it really becomes a chess match. You have a play that's in front of you immediately, but you really need to be thinking about what's going to be happening 10, 15 turns from now. You go, oh, well, if I don't keep my Rotom healthy, then Entei just wrecks my team. So I can't even let it take one hit from a Scolipede, because then I get killed later in the game. And I think that those are the types of matches where the best players really shine, because of their ability to think about all phases of the game.
I like it. There you have it, people. Last season champion give you guys a very in-depth reason on why them knees are them knees. JK, he didn't talk about them knees at all.
Yeah, I don't think I committed to either side there.
Yeah, I was joking, people. Don't harm me, all right?
You're all good.
But yeah, everybody seemed to be on the same page for these last 3 matches. And with that, we move on to the final match, being the Choice CJ hashtag Team CJ versus Gamer Mario, coach of the Celadon City Celebees. Now, that is one type of tongue twister as a team name, people. All those C's, my lord. But everybody picked CJ for this one, and for good reason. No offense to Gamer Mario, I'm pretty sure he is new to this format. And CJ has been doing this with us for a while now. CJ obviously is last season's champion, and I feel like experience in terms of the format is enough to just solidify CJ as your pick as to who is going to win this match. Now, not saying that the Celadon City team has a bad team. Their team is good. Most of the teams in this league are good. But they have Moltres. So, yep, this was Kohona's team.
Yep.
Good old Kohona. But, I mean, he has Crest, Clefable, Mega Sableye, Hitmontop, Tentacruel. So, he has great ways to remove hazards. He has Tornadus, which can catch you off guard, as I've learned in PMC Season 1. Superior just clicks Leaf Storm spam. He has Digger Speedo. Archeops is a trash. And Moltres is trash. But CJ drafted a very good team. We're going to go back to the draft page because I don't know why I clicked off of it. And look at CJ's team. One more. There we go. Apollon Hacks. Oh my lord. Yeah, I remember this team. I love this team. This man has Mega Lopunny. That's GG. That's all you gotta say. Mega Lopunny.
Yeah, so Lopunny is obviously one of the best megas in the format. It's tough a little bit because Cresselia and Clefable are 2 of the better counters in the game to Lopunny, because they resist the high jump kick and they're bulky enough to take returns, and they have stab super effective moves to threaten it back. But we'll see. I think I have a team that can take care of those threats and pave the way for Lopunny. I'm looking forward to using it.
Yeah, no, Mega Lopunny, man, I'm gaining more and more love for it. I remember originally I didn't like it just because when it came out, I didn't like regular Lopunny. And
I mean, nobody likes regular Lopunny.
Nobody likes regular Lopunny, but it's a situation where you can either lead with it, just to confirm your Mega Evolution, get that fake out off, or you can save it for late game. That's what I tend to like to do, because I'm in a league right now called the UBC, and I have Mega Lopunny, and I save it in the back. I try to wear down whoever's team needs to be wear down until Mega Lopunny can just come in, click fake out, and return a few times and just win the game. And it's literally very easy to do, whether it be by hazard stacking or, just leading with a mon that's going to do a whole bunch of damage to necessary checks to Mega Lopunny, stuff like that. And there aren't too many checks to Mega Lopunny because there's nothing in the game that resists his dual stabs with it having Scrappy. So, I mean, the best switch in to Mega Lopunny most of the times is either a Skarmory or a Cofagrigus. And Cofagrigus is still going to take like 50-60% from a high jump kick. Yeah, you won't be able to hit it again with another high jump kick because it gives you Mummy, but that's damage. So it's like there's not too many clean Lopunny switch-ins. Yes, it doesn't do necessarily overwhelming types of damage. You pretty much, it's a 2-hit KO on most mons with its moves, but it is a mon that if you give it the chance, it will rip you a new one.
Yep, I'm really happy to have it on my team.
Yeah, and you kind of look like Mega Lopunny.
I mean, that's a little weird, but let's just roll with it.
Yeah, people, if you enjoyed today's prediction panel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to UBC channel. Make sure to check out all the coaches because they work hard, trying to produce this league content for you. Make sure you subscribe to all the analysts as well to show them the support because it takes a lot. I don't think this is stressed enough, But running a league, just making a league work, it takes a lot of work. It's a whole bunch of people coming together for a common goal, to make sure that something gels together. It's a whole bunch of moving cogs in one giant machine, and if all of them aren't moving in the right way, then the machine doesn't go and the situation shuts down. So, I mean, it's a lot harder than it seems to run a league. It takes a lot of work, and a lot of people take it for granted. So make sure to show your support, people. We all appreciate it, whether it be just comments. Go ahead, make sure to comment and leave comments of what you chose for the matches. Who's your lock of the week? Who do you think is going to win each match? Let us know, because support and interaction with you guys, it helps make this thing drive. If there's no interaction with the fans, and there's no reason for us to keep going with this. So, I mean, CJ, would you like to say anything else, my friend?
No, just yeah, thanks again for teaming up with me, J-Specs. It's always a lot of fun. Go ahead and check out all of the matches this week that you guys. It's going to be very exciting.
Make sure to go to Adam's video, people, and click hashtag Team CJ on every video this season, all right? and with that, people, I bid you adieu.